Hey, good morning, brother and sister. Today we start a new chapter, chapter 3, Heavenly Parent. Let's start our Hoondokhae, section 1. One must experience the existing Heavenly Parent, the existence of Heavenly Parent, through parents' words. The phrase God exists is not an empty one. It is not that we deduce the necessity of God's existence by understanding the subject-object partner relationship to the principle. It is that God existed before we come into existence, that He existed before we could think, and that He leads our senses and our whole being. This awareness is more important than anything else. The basic point is that awareness precedes knowledge, not the other way around. If we are cold, we feel cold before we know we are cold. Likewise, since God exists, we should be able to feel His existence in our very selves. Achieving that awareness is what matters. The issue is how we achieve that awareness, the ability to experience these things. The most serious issue in human life is to know whether or not God exists. If God really exists, the greatest sinner is the one who denies His existence. For example, if son denies his parents' existence when they are truly alive and well, we call him an unfilial son. Then what will happen to the person who denies God's existence even though God exists? That person will come to ruin. Hence, there is no greater sin than the denial of God's existence. There are even those who say God is dead. There is no sin greater than the utterance of such words. We should not perceive the existence of God only vaguely and conceptually. It is impossible to understand the existence of God through logic alone. This is because God's existence, while within the realm of logic, also reaches beyond logic. Can a religious belief, in which we know God only through logic, guide our lives? Can such a belief perfect us as substantial being of eternal life? There are many problems with that idea. With only that foundation, how can we expect to stand before God, our true Lord? Our coming to God has been the hope of humankind and also God's providential objective throughout history. Sharing thoughts. A person approached a Christian and said the following: Christians always speak of God. Where is that God? If you can tell me where He is, then I will also believe in that God. Though the Christian didn't like the person who asked this question so much, he still took him outside and pointing to the sun, said the following: Look straight at the sun. The person replied in anger, Stop speaking gibberish. How can you look straight at the sun? If you cannot look straight at the sun, which is only one out of the many creations made by God, then how can you look with your eyes at such a great God? This parable is conveyed within the Talmud. To say one cannot believe in that which cannot meet the eyes can easily become a dramatic and dangerous thought, as there are many things we cannot see that exist in our surroundings. From ancient time, many philosophers, theologians, scientists, and others have passionately debated on the existence of the Creator, the Heavenly Parent. Diverse thoughts on this topic have emerged, including theism, the thought that recognizes the existence of Heavenly Parent; atheism, the thought that denies it; and agnosticism, the thought that asserts people cannot know of existence of such a being. However, as we can know from the story, there are limits to debating about what cannot be seen. Love, for example, is an actual emotion, yet we cannot see it. No matter how logical an argument for the existence of love will be, a person who has never experienced it could not clearly understand this emotion. Furthermore, such a person easily could define love as either an illusion or simply a temporary desire. Hence, what is needed is experience and not a debate on whether love exists or not. The same applies to the wind. It will be meaningless for people in a room without window to logically discuss whether the wind is blowing outside. If a person is in a place with window, he or she can observe leaves or flags moving in the wind. A more effective method will be to open the window, put one's hand outside and feel how much the wind is blowing. Therefore, instead of trying to logically prove whether the wind is blowing, a useful and certain method will be to visually observe a windy phenomenon or tactually sense it. Likewise, the debate as to whether heavenly parent exists can be logically conducted, yet is limited, as heavenly parent cannot be seen directly with the naked eye. The most effective way to prove heavenly parents' existence is to directly experience heavenly parents' substantial being. Just as a person would put his or her hand outside a window to feel the wind or go out the door to feel it fully, an individual must pray and practice different forms of ascetics to experience heavenly parents' substantial existence. True parents teach that it is essential to experience heavenly parents' existence and to live with certainty in heavenly parent. That is because unwavering, firm faith is based on experiencing and certainty and not vague hope and assumption. We all need to invest effort in strengthening the foundation of our faith. Point of contemplation. Through what kind of phenomena can we verify the existence of Heavenly Parent? 2. What kind of effort can we invest to experience Heavenly Parent? And 3. Have you ever experienced Heavenly Parent's substantial being? If you have, can you describe it? Wow. Wow, this is so deep. It's like breathing. You cannot breathe in or breathe out without acknowledging the great creation of God. We, as a simple creation of God, we are a miracle of God's love and grace. Just the air, if we cannot breathe, we are dead. That's a manifestation of God's unconditional love, giving us air every single moment of our life, free of charge. The light of the sun, the whole creation, it's a manifestation of God. That's it's a proof of God's existence. I like to go on the mountain, and each time when I reach the top of the mountain, it's an incredible feeling of joy, of freedom, of peace, of beauty, of amazement. It's hard to describe in the words. Doesn't matter the words that I try to put on. It go beyond the words. Once it's because I overcome my limits of reaching to the top, and I put a great effort to reach there. And second, It's the love that I feel coming from Heavenly Mom and Dad, to the beauty that surround me, to the fact that I'm more near to the sky and to the blue sky, to the nature, to the wind that is blowing around me. And that's love. That's God for me. That's an incredible manifestation of Heavenly Mom and Dad. And I don't know if you can deny God. You cannot. When you see all this, you come to realize this. Human beings, doesn't matter how great we are, we can never create such a beauty. We can never create such an environment. What kind of effort can we invest to experience Heavenly Parent? Well, all the condition, all the prayer, fasting we are doing, doesn't matter the denomination of faith we are coming from. I believe that everything that we do is bringing us closer to experience Heavenly Mom and Dad. That's why people over the world, they are doing incredible fasting condition, like Ramadan, 40 days. Like Orthodox, we have 340 days per year. And there are people, they are keeping this fasting, like Buddhists, they are staying in meditation in a very strict way of really make that mind and body unity. We see people doing a lot of penitence, a lot of praising and worship, because we want to become worthy of staying in front of Almighty Heavenly Mom and Dad. It's really incredible because this effort, it's open our heart and mind to perceive God even more. It's say like, okay, we feel the cold before we say it is cold. And we are putting ourselves, we feel God, but we want more than just feel God. We know that God is there, but we want to have a substantial relationship with God. So that is the condition, that's the effort we are doing. Do you ever have experienced Heavenly Parent substantial being? Yes. I was so lucky and so blessed, and I believe there are many out there who experience Heavenly Mom and Dad. And the love that I felt coming from Heavenly Mom and Dad towards me, it's beyond any words description. It's so melting my heart when I felt that unconditional love, that I'm good and perfect just the way I am, that I am beautiful just the way I am, that I am His masterpiece, that I am His beloved daughter. And that feeling was, wow, amazing. I understood that moment what true fathers say, that the words and teaching of true parents was not any more words and teaching, but was a living teaching, was God substantially there. This is what true parents is trying to show to us, not just some information passed on, but a lifestyle that is vibrating, that is alive, that is moving us, that is increasing us, that is helping us to wash away all the darkness, all foreign nature, all sin, all mistakes, and rebirth us and help us to rebirth and resurrect, center on true love, true life, and true lineage. That's the beauty of our beloved true parents and our Heavenly Mom and Dad. Thank you so very much. I let you have your own contemplation over such a deep message of today. Thank you for joining, and thank you for sending your feedback. I wish you a blessed, wonderful day, centered on our Heavenly Mom and Dad, and centered on true parents. God bless you.